Hey, Jack. All right. You got this stuff?
Yeah, all cleaned and oiled.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's get it on.
Who are these guys?
It's my theme music. Every good hero should have some.
Missouri, the one, the only, Geek Pitches.
Excuse me, can I get a cup of coffee? Black? Can't you see we talking? White?
Good morning to everybody out there. Wow. Okay, first of all, let me just say good morning to my good buddy John. John, how are you, buddy?
Morning. I'm doing great. Looking forward to today's topic.
You know what? This is, I think, the first time we've ever done something like this. So hopefully everybody will enjoy it today. To peek inside our minds, peek inside our thought processes, and basically, unlike a lot of other shows, we really want to invite you guys to participate, if you can, in the live chat, because we want to know what you think about our pitches. Because today we will be basically doing Hollywood pitches for potential films and or television series. The idea is to pitch a couple of ideas that we think Hollywood could probably use.
Yeah, especially right about
Some
now.
of them, especially right about now. Like I said, these could either be film, television shows, streaming. You know, I think a lot of these ideas could do very well. And so I think each of us were to come up with 3. And then also discuss, why that particular story, or what the particular story would be, why that particular story, and who we could see as the main stars. So we're only going to pick 2 actors per project to keep everything simple. And then who we would suggest the director to be. Okay. So without further ado, I'd like to start out first. And I'm going to choose my number 3 pick. Okay.
Well, before we get started, we should say hi to the chat.
Oh, we should definitely, you know what? I'm an idiot. Yes. First and foremost, let me just say hello to Lady Anima Confusa. Also, Sox Bulletins, D-Bud Martin, or Bill Nation, and Joe's Atmosphere. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. We have a nice crowd today.
Yeah, I think that's,
And
we'll have more trickling in.
yes. I know with just the people that I've just named, they're definitely going to have their ideas. And that's great. I want to encourage everybody to have your own ideas and thoughts, and just, say whatever you got to say, okay? But let's just try to keep everything, kind of up, kind of positive. I mean, you can criticize, but you at least be nice about it. So let's just go ahead and do this. So I'm going to start with my number 3. And the hardest thing I've had to come up with is what to call this. Because the name of it is kind of difficult if you're going to try to do something new, something big. Oh, hello and good morning, Scribe Light.
Yeah, and Read by Nature.
I know. Cool. Nice to have you. Okay. So this first one, well, my number 3, is something that a lot of people are familiar with, but they're not as familiar with the source material that it is taken from. So the book is called Cyborg. Okay. And it's a book by Martin Caidin, Caidin. I read this book many years after seeing the television series that was created based on that book. But I had a lot of fun reading that book and knowing that there are other books within the series. But the television series derived or based on it was called The $6 Million Man. I would like to try to adapt the book. Now, the pilot movie was a pretty good adaptation of the book. They were missing, in my opinion, a few things. Current filmmaking technology would allow the ability to be able to put a little more action in it. The book itself was published in 1972. It's a science fiction secret agent adventure novel. So, it's Martin.
Martin, welcome.
Good morning. Thank you. It wasn't easy to get in, but
You know what?
here I am.
Happy to have you.
Yeah, we just started.
I'm happy to be here.
And just as you arrive, we get Penny in the chat.
Oh, that's
It's
nice.
Penny. Hi, Penny. It's always good having you. And deep down between you and Anima, you guys are kind of like my lucky charm. Okay, you guys are just, you guys are great. Nothing against any of the other gentlemen in here, but Oh, hold on, Scribe Light. Okay, Scribe Light has his own pitch. Hold on. Scribe Light says Florida Man, anthology series a la The Hitchhiker. Okay. Where the spirit of Florida Man compels regular people to do insane and chaotic things. Episodes could range from funny or scary. Wow.
Now, that would be Chuck Dixon's Florida Man.
the scary and funny thing is I could actually see that as an actual show. Wow. Anyway, back to this. I would like to say that I could see either a television or series revival, or just do it as a movie. Either way, I think it'd be kind of interesting. But again, as an idea, as a pitch, it only ranks number 3 out of all the ideas I've come up with. But as a science fiction secret agent novel, I think there's a lot that could be covered, especially nowadays, since even James Bond won't be James Bond anymore. I think people are going to hunger to see something kind of different, and I think we could have a lot of fun with this. Now, I will admit there are people out there that were kind of a little gun shy after the whole Bionic Woman situation of trying to revive that show, but I think it really does depend on who you get to do it and who you cast. And for my money, it took me a long time to come up with this. I really struggled with who you could get to do it. And I think if this were a film, I think you could have oh man, what is that guy's first name? See, now I'm sitting right in front of a computer here where I can look it up. But my bet would be Luke Hemsworth. I think Luke Hemsworth would be a fantastic lead for either a film or a television revival of the $6 Million Man, aka Cyborg. And I think he's got the skills to do it. I think you could have some fun with it. And I think I like his acting. He's funny like his brothers. But he's also got really good instincts when it comes to action and a lot of other problems a lot of other productions that he's been a part of. Now, for me, the hard part really was coming up with who I would cast as Oscar. And so I thought about it, and I thought that I should just be a little bit different and go with someone like Rob Corddry.
Okay.
Because I think Oscar should be someone that has a little bit of a sense of humor. You know, I mean, you just spent $6 million basically creating taking a guy who was pretty much dead and turning him into a bionic man.
Would we update it to 16 billion at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the reason why I thought about renaming it, because if you call it the $6 Million Man, that's not gonna seem like a lot of money nowadays. You know, I mean, $6 million isn't the same like it was in 1972. So
got a bionic pinky? That's what we made.
But yeah, I would have Rob Corddry and have him be Oscar. I think he'd do a very good job as Oscar.
We have this
Lead
question.
by Nature has a nice question.
Okay, let's go to that.
What political era would you set your cyborg in?
I would set it now. Okay, I really would. I would try to use the book as a jump off point, but I would set it now. And I'll tell you the reason why. One of the biggest problems that we've noted in recent years for pretty much almost all the studios has been this whole thing about spending outrageous amounts of money. And while there are those of us of a certain age that would like to think that 1972 was only a couple years back, it's not. And rather than try to spend all kinds of money trying to recreate the decade, I would just go ahead and set it now, because that's you don't have to worry about spending all that money trying to recreate that time period. You see what I mean? And if I don't call it the $6 Million Man and we just sort of use the premise of the original story, you can then go ahead and save money a little bit, even though you're reporting. Because I like John's idea of you know, I mean, his remark that it would cost a lot more money to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think you could really do a lot with that cast. I think I'm tempted to do something kind of different with the character of Rudy Wells, though.
Yeah.
You know, I'm half tempted to. I caught myself. I was about to change Rudy into a woman. Of course, I'm not going to do that. No, what I would do is I would have Dr. Rudy Wells portrayed by either Adam Scott
Okay.
or go a completely different direction with this and get Crispin Glover.
Oh, I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
I like Crispin Glover. Yeah, Glover.
So that would be it. Now, who I would get to direct.
Well, this is a series, so I mean, it would be more.
Oh, it'd be showrunner. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I could go either way. With Luke Hemsworth, I think he's got it. I think he could do either a film or a television series or a streaming series. I personally think if you set it in our era, you don't really have to blow your budget out.
Nope.
Okay, you just got to be smart about how you spend your money. And Read by Nature has a pretty good comment here. See.
Oh, I'm sorry. What is it? This?
Yeah, I feel bad for the Bionic Woman reboot actress. She seemed on the verge of making a name for herself, but went back to EastEnders, a UK soap. Actually, she had another show that she did, a miniseries that she did for the people behind Doctor Who. And I thought she was really, really good in that.
Yeah, but she didn't break out like we thought she would.
Yeah, I felt bad for her. I agree, Read by Nature.
Yeah.
I felt real bad for her because she's a really, really, really good actress. And I just felt that here's the other thing. It's just hard to reboot any idea that was such a classic show. It is difficult to do that. And to have tried to do it without the $6 million man, because that's the only reason why the Bionic Woman exists. And the other reason why they did it is they probably didn't get the rights to the $6 million man. That's one of those interesting Hollywood stories. Making that and having it be successful, what you were dealing with was a show that completely just broke out and was incredibly popular when it came out. I remember watching it. I think I watched the pilot and the pilot movie and had an incredible time. And it was one of those shows that it was just one of those shows that you could understand why anyone that was growing up in that period, why they really loved that show and why that show was just so popular. It was just an instant success. And there was no other show like it on television. But here's the other thing. Richard Anderson, the actor who would be known as playing Oscar Goldman,
Yeah.
who was not the original Oscar Goldman. Turns out that they had a different actor playing Oscar.
In the pilot.
Yeah, slightly different. But if I remember correctly, because I'm trying to do a lot of this from memory. But Richard Anderson, he eventually bought the rights to all of this, the TV rights to all of this. And I think what ended up happening is that the people behind the Bionic Woman, because the Bionic Woman, if I remember, this is based on a book, but the Bionic Woman isn't. It was created as a spinoff of the television series, The $6 Million Man, and wasn't really something that was a part of the original novel. So it made it easier to probably get the rights to do Bionic Woman and cheaper than it would have been to go after the $6 Million Man rights.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I were to choose someone to direct this, geez.
Or to be a showrunner, rather.
You know what? I think there's someone that would fit both. Yeah. There is someone that I think could fit both. Because I think no, because then you're running into problems. Okay. If I were to pick someone to be the showrunner for this, I'd have to say, I would say, oh man, there's a lot of people to pick from, but I want someone who would just do this one justice, because you can't spend too much money. A lot of the people who I initially thought would do it, but that would up your budget too much. And I want to try to keep this one kind of, I think there's a way to do this either as a movie or a television series without breaking the bank. You don't need to be spending Star Trek Discovery Kurtzman type money or Amazon Ring of Poo-Poo money. You know, you don't need to be spending that kind of money on something like this. But you got to be reasonable. I would say I would get one of the producer showrunners of The Expanse is what I would get. That's what I would do. And I'll tell you why. First of all, in my original thought of doing this, my original thought, if I were to separate Cyborg, the difference between making it as a movie versus a television show, and I strictly just was doing just a television show, my original idea was to have Stephen Strait, who was the lead actor of The Expanse, do it. Because I think he's a phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
If there were any justice in this world, The Expanse would be still in the air.
Yeah, well, they owe us 3 seasons.
Would be kicked yeah, and Kurtzman Trek would be kicked to the curb. But, you know.
Yeah. Well, there is a game that's just coming out for The Expanse.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's the first Telltale game back for the since Telltale got sold. It's their first game back because another when they went bankrupt, another company bought Telltale Games, but they promised to make more Telltale games under the Telltale logo. Well, their first, but not counting the ones that they released when they bought it and were in the pipe, this is the first all new project from them. And
I
it's
think
Telltale Games The Expanse. It's a game based on Drummer.
yeah, and I think it's after the events of the show.
That would be awesome.
No, I think it's before, because Drummer is the executive officer. She's not the captain of the ship. So I think it's early days of Drummer.
That let me tell you something else, okay? And I know I'm getting a little off track here. The thing about The Expanse is you can tell that Kurtzman really dug that show because of how many different actresses have been cast that are pretty much just takeoffs of that one particular character and the actress that played that character. I'm serious.
I love Drummer.
Because Drummer is a great part. And yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to play
Cara
it.
Gee. Cara Gee is a phenomenal actress. And she inserted so much, brought so much to that character. In fact, I personally believe that she should be getting a paycheck from the people in Strange New Worlds, because a lot of their characters seem to be takeoffs of the character that she was doing on The Expanse.
Yep.
And they're just not as good. I mean, pound for pound, the entire cast of The Expanse is, you got better stories and more use and more drama out of that cast because it was a balance of great actors and great writing. And the unfortunate thing for Kurtzman Trek, for every single show, is that you got a lot of great actors and piss poor writing. Piss poor writing.
Yeah.
There are no upsides to the writing of any of the Kurtzman shows. They're just bad. All those actors, though, I feel bad. I feel bad for every single one of them.
Oh,
every single one of them, because they deserve so much more than what they're getting.
Especially Cass Anvar. But
No.
story.
Yeah, that's another story. But I mean, talking about the Kurtzman Trek actors.
Okay,
I may not agree with a lot of their personal ideas, but they are all incredible actors. And in my opinion, if they had the showrunner and producers of The Expanse running Discovery would be the best blinking TV show on television.
Yeah.
They are completely just left out in the cold because of it. This is the power of having good people that know what they're doing up and down the line. You know, some people think all you need are just good actors. And that's great. It's great having good actors. But if you don't give them good writing, you know, so Carnegie.
Yep.
It's just a great cast. God, I miss that cast. They made watching TV just appointment. I mean, instant appointment television, which is saying a lot for a sci-fi channel series. And the more I talk about it, the more I think I'm right. I would just go ahead and just get the producers of The Expanse. Forget what I said. I would get all those guys, all of them, and bring them into this. I would hire all of them to make the Cyborg series.
I just checked. Carnegie is reprising her role as drummer for the game.
Awesome. Wow. Hey, Socks. Hey, okay. Let's see. Gareth Edwards. Okay.
Hey, Brandon, and our Muslim uncle's here too. I know it's your Muslim uncle, but I feel like he's our Muslim uncle.
Yeah, he's our Muslim uncle. And Neil Blomkamp. Oh, it's also good too. It's a good choice. Yeah. Good choice. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna give you guys your say on it. So there you go. That's my pitch. I know it's kind of scatterbrained, but that's the way my days are nowadays. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's a good pitch. I love $6 Million Man as a kid. So, of course, I'm going to want to see it come back and come back right, not as, some people would probably make it.
Comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The books I read later, and basing it off the books I think is a good idea because you can get a different feel for the characters than what you got in the series. But that's just my opinion. So
no, That's what I asked for. Martin.
Well, again, I didn't know there were books. Now I know. I will be compelled to find them. Uh, yeah.
We're good.
Hey, first of all, let me just say, I know I tell you this all the time, my friend. You know, I don't even think I can't speak for John, but I don't try to do this to make people go out and do things. I don't try to give you homework or anything. You know, it's just the way my brain works. I got a lot of useless information up there. I just feel the need to share sometimes, and that's the real reason why Gary wanted me to do this. You know, to be a part of all this is because I do that a lot. So I didn't say all this to just make you go out and read books. Okay, so.
Well, I like reading, and I grew up watching the $6 Million Man, so I don't consider it a chore or homework. Man,
Well,
I think I even had the tin lunchbox of
Mhm.
the $6 Million Man.
I had Steve Austin, the one that he comes with the engine you lift and you look through his eye. I had Steve Austin's rocket capsule. I had Bigfoot. I had the fake Steve Austin cyborg guy.
Oh man. Okay, wait. Hold up. Time.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just say for the record then that John's parents really did love him because they made sure he got all that cool stuff.
Oh yeah, I had all the Star Wars stuff too. You know,
oh, geez,
I didn't have
God.
everything, but I had the
Okay.
figures, and I had at least a spaceship of each. So I had an X-wing and a TIE fighter.
Somebody show it off. Somebody show it off. You know what? Some of us just weren't that lucky. Some of us can only dream of having a lot of that stuff. Oh, jeez. I mean, you know, hey, we're still friends, but I want you to know.
Well, I think a lot. I think a lot of it. The reason why I got so much stuff like that is because I had to. You know, my dad was a Vietnam vet, and this was before they really knew what PTSD was.
Yeah.
And so he drank a lot. He was an alcoholic. And so he wasn't there all the time. So I think a lot of it was guilt for him not being there. Plus between work and his drinking, and when he'd play in his band, he was in a band, so he'd play, so he wasn't there all the time. So I think a lot of that was guilt for that. So that's why I got stuff.
Well, you know what though? I'm also happy for you. Somebody I knew had all that and had fun with it. And again, as you just were saying, I had no idea you had read all the books. So that makes you a super fan.
Yeah.
So,
do you know how many books I've read?
In total?
In total. Yeah. I couldn't count. Yeah. I can't count that high.
Oh man.
But I go through a book right now at the rate I'm going. I go through a book every few days.
Wow. So basically you have sharpened your mind.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Again, Martin, let's
Sorry.
So what do you think, my friend?
No. So I got in here late, and how many of your pitches?
This
was
the first one.
This is the only one that we've done.
Lucky me. So, what is your second pitch?
Actually, we're going to do everybody's third pitches. So next is John.
Oh,
so
nice.
Okay. My third pitch is a character by the name of Mac Bolan. the Executioner. Mac Bolan has been in 631 novels of, either as the main character or a guest character in the other novels attached to the whole series.
Wow.
And has sold more than 200 million books. He was written by Don Pendleton, and his first appearance was in 1969. And he is the inspiration for The Punisher.
Nice.
Wow. Hey, I read someplace that I think it was the author was thinking that they might get a Mac Bolan movie, and that they were thinking about I think it was Burt Reynolds to play Mac Bolan. So
yeah, that was years ago. I mean, because we lost Don Pendleton in 85, 95.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you need to get a man's man to play that part.
I've got one.
Let's hear it.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Ooh. Okay, especially after Bullet Train.
Bullet Train, Kraven the Hunter that's upcoming. Yeah.
Look at you, man.
Yep. I even got a director too.
Let's hear your director, man.
I'm going outside. I'm outside the box at this point. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Bong Joon-ho. Korean director, directed Snowpiercer, Parasite. He's got a movie coming out next year called Mickey 17, which is a sci-fi epic.
Wow.
But I think he would do great with the fight scenes. He would know who to call in for a stunt coordinator for that. But yeah, I think he would do a fantastic job, and I like his movies. And he's only 53, so if this was to develop into a series of movies, then he would be around for it. Plus, the whole thing with Mac Bolan, there's 2 other properties that could be spun off of him: Able Team and Phoenix Force, which would make great series.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Joe's atmosphere. The Executioner is badass. Perfect casting. Isn't Johnson being considered for Bond? If he is, he's being considered for the non-Bond Bond.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to see him do that.
Nope. Rather not see him wasted like that.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm happy for anybody to get work. But I think anybody that is an actual Bond fan, whether you're talking going to the movies or anything, or even as a working actor, if you are a Bond fan, what you're going to have to do is understand that the movie you're making has absolutely nothing to do with the Bond that you've grown up loving in terms of the films and the original source novels. So if you're good with that, then have fun with it.
Yeah.
Wow. Man. John just bringing it. Jeez. Okay. Martin. Let's see what you got on number 3, my friend.
Okay. I am not as savvy as you two. So this is going to be my pitch. The styles of my pitches. I'm gonna give you the title. Maybe talk a little about what the whole thing is, but I let you, my friends, to fill in the spot of actors and directors and showrunners, because I'm not gonna embarrass myself putting my feet into my mouth more than usual. But my first page would be Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. More
Yeah.
thinking more of the TV show than the movie.
Okay.
Okay.
And of course, in TV show format or episodic format, let's say. I don't know who. Oh yes. I have this. Oh, I forgot. Give me a second to look for the name of the actor that I would like as
Okay.
the admiral.
Take your time.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he's a British actor. He's been in oh, what's that Christian Bale movie? Ah, The Pale Blue Eye, and his name would be Simon McBurney. It's a little young. He for the character.
Mhm.
He's
Yeah.
some good 10 years younger than well, he's 10 years younger than the admiral in the movie, but I think he will work perfectly if you think about the admiral in the series, who was a younger actor than the actor that
Yeah.
played the character in the movie.
Yeah.
And about the captain, I originally thought about Eric Bana, but he turns out to be a tad older for the role.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good actor though.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to think to come up with an actor for the captain. And I don't get it.
Well,
What? No, monkey, no.
Yeah. I
what?
snorted Coke once, but the I didn't like it because the bubbles burnt my nose.
But a
Was it cherry?
well, if you're gonna do that, you might as well just go real Coke. So
Yeah. So
I mean, if you're really gonna do it, you might as well just go with the real Coke with the cocaine in it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I didn't actually do it. That's just a joke.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so what are your views, opinions, takes on
First of
my
all,
first choice?
Yeah.
Bravo.
It's a
This
good
Voyage to the
choice.
Bottom of the Sea is again something that just needs to exist. You know, fun show, a real fun show. Debuted before Star Trek and ended a year before. So
Yeah.
wow.
We have
That was just...
Small Time Republic Matt, who is on the show with Joe's Atmosphere and myself on Wednesday nights.
Hey!
And he's also a big part of our Sunday football show.
Hey!
We call
Nice
him the best
friend.
backup quarterback in the league. And Memes is here.
Hey, Memes! Hey, buddy! Yeah, he figures you'd get here as we're talking sort of kind of drugs.
Yeah.
Okay, that means it's my turn.
Yep.
Okay. I've decided to go with a pitch loosely based on an idea that had been floating around Hollywood for quite a while. It's an adaptation of a comic, or at least in this case, a particular incident from a comic, and that is Arkham Asylum. Batman and his villains in one place together. Okay, now
Trial of Batman.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be slightly different, and it's going to. You're still going to need some really good fight choreography, but this is mainly going to be a different type of thing. And I would like to see this more as a movie. Now I know that's taking a chance there because there's going to be a lot of talking, but I also think though that I think this would be the one project that you would get an incredible response from a lot of actors who would love to be a part of something like this. And the reason why I can say that is because out of all of the comic book films that have ever been made, only 2 have gotten Academy Awards for acting. Only 2.
Joker.
And that's Heath Ledger.
Yep.
And Joaquin Phoenix, both playing the same part. So for a lot of actors, you increase your chances of getting one of those nice statues if you decide to be a Batman villain.
Yeah. Specifically the Joker, but
Specifically the Joker. But in this particular case,
Yeah.
So I was thinking that you're definitely going to need someone like Batman, but also someone like Hugo Strange, Dr. Hugo Strange. Excuse me. And
well, you have to have the A-list Batman villains.
That's pretty much the A-list villains. And I think also you're going to need Two-Face.
Yeah, Two-Face.
Okay, because Two-Face is the prosecution.
Yeah.
And Victor Fries, not Victor Fries. I was going to say Victor Fries, but Dr. Hugo Strange, she's the one that actually runs Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
And so who would you cast? So first of all, let's just get it out of the way. Who I would cast as Batman for this entire thing. And I kind of surprised both you guys when I mentioned this yesterday. I still stand by it, but it's actor John Hamm.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Because you need a Batman. First of all, I know there's a lot of people out there that like the movie The Batman. And in case you're one of those people that don't know my views on that movie, I call it Stupid 7 Dumb 7 is what I call it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's like a really bad adaptation of the movie 7 with dumb people as your detectives.
Oh, yeah. Really, really, especially in Batman's case, really dumb.
I get that. Way too many people will try to throw up in defense of the stuff that's really bad in the movie. It's like, it's only his second year. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were in the middle of having a war against crime in your city.
Yeah.
So what? He acts stupidly and all the criminals are dumb too? Seriously? Again, watch that movie and just tell me, could that version of Batman have survived the League of Shadows? In my opinion,
Big one. Big one. Open up, Batman. Big one.
He has no stealth skills at all. None.
No. League of Shadows would eat him for breakfast.
Oh, geez, without even trying. His own son, still in diapers, could probably kill him.
Yeah.
So
Ra's al Ghul would go, really, Talia? Really? This is the guy? Seriously?
And again, nothing against Robert Pattinson or any of the other actors. This is really me going at the writer-director. You throw away probably one of the best Batman scripts ever because you want to write your own because you're the ultimate Batman fan and that's what you wrote. Give me a break. Anyway, for this film, you definitely need to show that it's been a few years. This is a Batman that's been going at it for a few years. So, you want someone that's a little older. You can't have somebody who just turned 30 and they have an entire rogues gallery. Again, looking at Pattinson's version of Batman, I don't think that version of Batman would be ready for a lot of the villains that are in the comics. But also, one of the other reasons why Batman and Spider-Man are the two biggest badasses in comics is they have the best rogues gallery. And I think Batman has the smartest by IQ. Because he's got more doctors that are villains than just about anybody else. And for Hugo Strange, hey, Dave Bautista. Okay, Dave Bautista.
Yeah,
you know what?
I don't see that.
Physically, he's a good-sized dude, and I know he's been working on his acting. But for me, and this is a movie, for me, you guys are going to hate me, but there's a reason why I want this particular person. Hugo Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be played by Robert Downey.
Zoe Saldana. Robert Downey.
The way he looks today, I can actually see that. I mean, I would go back to the guy who played him in the played him before, and was he in the Going in Gotham? The guy from Jurassic Park. Because I thought he did a fantastic job as I can't remember the actor's name off the top of my head. I know it, but it's just not exiting the brain. But yeah, I thought he did a great job as Hugo Strange.
Okay.
I'm glad you like that. What?
Why Robert Downey Jr.?
Versatile actor. He pretty much carried the Chaplin movie on his back.
Yeah.
I mean, that entire, not to say that all the other actors in that film weren't great. I keep telling people, if you've never seen or haven't seen the movie Chaplin in a long time, or you've never seen it, check that film out. Okay? And just look it up on IMDb. Look at all the actors in that movie.
It's a masterclass in acting.
And on top of all of this, Robert Downey Jr. has to play Chaplin at all these different ages in his life.
Yep.
Including playing Chaplin towards the end of his life. Okay? But here's what really makes it. He has to play Chaplin as a young man. Okay? The actress who's playing his mother is Chaplin's daughter in real life. But if you look at all of the people that are in that film, and Robert Downey Jr. is just on another level. On another level.
Yep. Well, regardless of how he's gone off the deep end now, yeah, that's a good choice.
He's just on another level, and he doesn't need the money. Everybody needs to understand this. Robert Downey Jr. is good. He does not need the money.
He's acting because he enjoys it.
That's right. He does not. He is so good because of what he did with the MCU and all that stuff. He's good. He's taken care of. Him, his kids, their kids, their kids. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah,
they're good. So,
the Downey clan is well set for a long time.
He's now officially eccentric.
Yeah,
he's got that kind of money. But
so how would you
also,
entice him, though?
I just offer him the part. You know, I would offer him the part. You look, if you're going to approach Robert Downey Jr., your script better be good,
Yes.
and you better have some people that he can act opposite. You know, he's going to have, he's going to have to be a part of something big. Don't set it up as a comic book movie. That's self-evident. It's a Batman
Yeah.
movie. It's self-evident. What you need to do is find a way of approaching him and say, okay, you've done comic book movies before, but this is 12 angry men in an insane asylum.
Yeah.
And you're the one that's really running the show.
You're pulling the strings and nobody else knows.
That's right. If you don't know the comic and you don't know this character, Hugo Strange is unlike any Batman villain ever. Okay? Hugo Strange is a villain. First and foremost, he's got the inside track that no other villain has. Because he knows who Batman really is.
Yep.
And doesn't care. He wants to break Batman from the inside. That's what he's after.
Yeah, and all that releasing who Batman really is would break Bruce Wayne, not Batman.
Mm-hmm.
It just sort of mean Bruce would be full-time Batman.
Now, last night I was thinking who I would get to play Two-Face. And who I originally came up with would have been way too expensive. It would have enticed him because I think he would have considered it. Okay. And that's Brad Pitt. And before I get a lot of back talk about it, Brad Pitt has done cameo appearances in comic book movies before.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Jeffrey Goins, that character, that crazy character. He can play crazy.
He can play crazy. And I thought about I thought about that. Then I thought, you know what, that would break the bank.
Yeah, it would.
Now, that would definitely guarantee that Robert Downey Jr. would do the movie, though. If you got Brad Pitt to play Two-Face, Robert Downey Jr. would definitely be there. So I thought to myself, who could I get that would definitely play that part out, would definitely find a way of would definitely just be good,
Hey,
you wouldn't have to worry about this person.
Yeah. Got Zax and Adega Outlaw are out. So
my idea was Oscar Isaac.
Good choice. I approve of that.
Solid acting choice.
Yeah, he was the only. I mean, it was poor writing that done in Moon Knight. It wasn't his acting performance.
Mm-hmm. I mean, again, you're talking about a really, really good looking guy who just so happens now to be this guy who is scarred on the left side of his face.
Yep.
So his good side. I think Oscar Isaac would be my choice. And again, I know it's not the same as Brad Pitt, but Brad would break the budget.
Yeah.
And
you've got to include Poison Ivy.
Oh, of course. No. It'll be all his main villains. But
Yeah.
as I said at the beginning, I didn't want to go through and try to do all of them. So I wanted to pick out the main two parts
Oh, okay.
in
Yeah.
this. Although for this movie, you have to give the three big parts because everybody wants to know who Batman's going to be. You know, that's important.
Yeah.
And then you know, you can't just use Dr. Hugo Strange because he's not the sexy name. You know, you need someone else in there. And Two-Face as the prosecution. Oh gosh, yes. Again, it's the play / movie 12 Angry Men, except it's set in an insane asylum
With supervillains.
with supervillains. Or in Batman's case, for these villains, these aren't really supervillains; they're just villains. I mean, all these people are just mentally, you know, when you think about it, they're in the right place. Many would say the Batman's in the right place. Having everybody inside that place, that's probably the safest Gotham has ever been. Surrounded by cops on the outside, Batman on the inside with all these villains. And you get Robert Downey Jr. and you get Oscar Isaac in this, you could pretty much just write your ticket as to who would play all the other parts.
Yeah. Once he was announced as attached to it, you'd get actors just going, "Hey, I'll sign up for that."
I mean, you go ahead and you make sure everybody understands that you've already cast the three big roles of Batman, Hugo Strange, and Two-Face. But that there are still a lot of roles, including the Joker, available. Yeah. You would, if you were a producer on this, your phone would be ringing off the hook.
Yeah. I was thinking Anna Taylor-Joy for Ivy.
Could work. I can see it.
Yeah.
She's on the young side, but there's no saying that she couldn't be a young Ivy.
And she sold me with her performance in The Northman.
Yeah.
The Northman. When I saw that, I said, well, she can do any role.
The only reason why I would, not to interrupt you, I'm sorry. The only reason why I wouldn't cast her as that is because I think she would be better as Barbara Gordon.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it was just something I was
athletic.
thinking.
Oh no! I like that kind of thinking. Like I said, you announce just those three actors in this project, and you have just decided to paint a target on your back with every available actor and actress in Hollywood who are going to be trying to get a hold of you to be in this. In fact, it's going to be weird what I'm about to say next because I'm still casting. John Goodman is Commissioner Gordon.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. He's might be a little old, but that's fine.
Well, everybody's older. I mean, again, you know, John Hamm, he's an older Batman.
Yeah.
You know, so you can get away with that. I mean, everybody's older.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. This is not meant to be an action movie. It can be that. But this is going to be predicated really on the strength of your script and dialogue and character scenes. You know, nowadays we're so used to having a Batman movie where, of course, they're going to spend a lot of money on fight choreography. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. But the thing about Batman books in general that a lot of non-fans should understand is that there's a reason why both Batman and Spider-Man are way ahead of everyone else in the combined pantheon of characters for DC and Marvel.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
somewhat. I don't see this happening.
No,
Okay.
no, just Zax, just no.
You're evil, Sags. You're an evil man.
All right. Well, we my number 2.
Yeah, let's get your number 2 out of the way, my friend.
My number 2, again, dipping into the books because that's a target-rich environment that doesn't get mined enough. It's a series of books, edited, not written, edited, although it does have some stories in there, edited by George R. Martin and Melissa Snodgrass. She's the other one. It's called Wild Cards, and it's a superhero anthology series set in a world that humans have contracted this virus that gives everybody powers.
Well, it's not all humans. It's not all humans, though.
Well,
initially it's only a small number of people in.
Yeah, initially, but eventually everybody does contract it.
Yes.
Because you've got the ones that have the good powers and they look normal and they're fine. They're called aces. The ones that contract the powers that either they're crippling or they do something bad or it disfigures them somehow are called jokers. And then if you just get a minor power, it doesn't do anything, you're called deuces. And those are like the normal people. And you could do you could either, this would work better as a series, but to get to executive produce it, I get the Russo brothers.
Ooh. Okay.
I think you could entice them with it. Now, the cool thing about the original stories, this was actually a role-playing game that George R. Martin ran called Super World that a lot of the original authors played in.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of the original authors were in that Albuquerque, New Mexico circle of authors where you've got you had Victor Milan, you have John Walter Williams, you have John J. Miller, and of course Melinda Snodgrass. Just among the players that were in that group. So yeah, but there's like 40 authors total that have written stories in the past 35 years. And there's 30 books in the last 35 years, with the latest one just coming out. And yeah, just the list of authors on this that have written stories for this is just amazing. You've got people like Chris Claremont has written stories.
Mm-hmm.
You have Daniel Abraham, who is half of the team that wrote The Expanse. And of course his partner wrote one too, so they're both in there. Marco Clues, obviously George R. R. Martin and the original ones.
Well, the embarrassing thing about all of this, about this entire IP, is that Disney's been sitting on this for a few years.
Yeah.
They bought this well before they purchased Marvel. They had this. And so obviously, when they paid all that money to buy Marvel, they definitely weren't going to do this. But it sucks that they couldn't figure out a way of allowing another studio to do it, and they get paid some money on the, you know, the Sony deal, basically. You know, I think that's what they should do. I think this is you're right, John. You oh, see, now I should have said wild cards. Damn it. Anyway,
but I think if you get the Russos to produce it, and not really show run, but decide who's going to show run, and I think you would pull in a lot of great young actors for these various parts.
Yeah.
And it's an anthology series, so you have, like you do, the first season is whatever story you want to start with, whether you want to start with the I guess it was 87, so was the first book. I was thinking it was 85.
That's what I thought, it was 85.
Yeah, it was 87.
Oh, so basically right around the time that he was doing A Song of Ice and Fire.
Yep, he was editing.
He was busy.
Yeah, he was busy. No reason why he can't wins a winner out. But,
right?
But yeah, I mean, it's a rich history. The stories are awesome. And these were, a lot of these characters were developed in that game, so they already have personalities and backstories and stuff. So yeah, but that's my number 2 pick.
Wow.
What do you think?
Well, I'm ready for it. Would like to know those interactions and meaning the tensions between the groups.
Oh yeah,
that would be nice.
And if you haven't read the books, I was just picking up the first book called Wild Cards. You can actually get them as Kindle books. So they did republish them as Kindle books. So they're technically still in print. Let me see if there's a yeah, it's you get it in Kindle, you can get it. In fact, they came out with in 2012, they came out with an expanded edition which has some extra stories in it.
Dang.
So, but yeah, you can get all the Wild Cards books not only on Kindle but mass market paperback and hardcover still available, and audiobook if you prefer that format. So there's no reason not to jump into this series. And there's plenty of reading material there. And remember, these are short stories. So you can read it for a while and put it down and pick it up without having to keep track of all that. Now, these characters will reoccur in different stories. Some of the characters will. Some characters you only see once in one story. So... But yeah, it's definitely worth reading if you like the superhero genre, and don't want to get into comics. This would be a good way.
Wow, man, I should have chose Wild Cards. Wow, given how many times I've talked about Wild Cards over the years.
Yeah.
Good one. Good
one.
Good
All right,
one.
Martine, what's your number 2?
Oh, well, it could be one of two, because both properties are somewhat similar. One comes from TV shows, and the other one comes from the world of video games. I would go with either of two. Uh, Space Above and Beyond or Wing Commander. You have uh, it's basically the Baba Black Ship in space. You have a carrier, you have a squadron of pilots. However, on Space Above and Beyond, they are more than that. They are both pilot and infantry at the
Yeah.
same time. And I would like this by directed or showrun by Peter Berg. Is that's his name, right? The one from
Yeah, Peter Berg.
Yep.
yeah, because he understands military action
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
Oh,
I would say no. Yes, he would be my director, and showrunner.
If they did a series, depending, like the Space Above and Beyond, I would probably do them as a movie and Wing Commander as a series.
especially if you could get a cameo appearance by Mark Hamill.
Yeah. The reason why I would suggest not doing Wing Commander as a movie because people still remember the Matthew Lillard Wing Commander movie.
Oh man, that was bad.
Yeah, it was very bad. So,
Oh man.
I gotta admit that's one of my guilty pleasures.
Oh well, okay. No, you know what? I didn't say
No. But I'm not saying that it was a good movie. It has its moments, and I mean, going for the very furry kill radis to Egyptian cat, Sphinx cat kill radis. That wasn't a smart move.
yeah.
And treating the carrier more like a submarine than a carrier. Yeah. However, the blind battle, the blind style battle, I like. And of course, there's that thing with the pioneers that can sense black holes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went off the reservation.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think it would make a really you could do a really tight series with Wing Commander.
yeah, please based on the games only.
Yeah, the games. Yeah, nothing else. But yeah, I like that. I like that choice, Martine. I'm a big fan of the Wing Commander games, and I like Space Above and Beyond.
Yeah, the Hammerheads. Ooh, such a beautiful fighter. Keith, what's your opinion?
I like it. I do.
Thank you. And I guess we'll move to your first choice.
Number one.
Keith.
Number one.
Yeah. Number one. Ooh, you know what? I in talking to both of you guys yesterday, I got
You've changed your number one, haven't you?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
No, but I never revealed to you when I named my number one. I never revealed to you who I would cast.
No, that's true.
And that's because I kind of cheated, But there's a reason for this, okay? I really do believe in chemistry. I believe in good acting chemistry, and when you find that, I think you can do it. You can have actors that can play opposite one another as long as what you're doing, as long as the scripts are really, really good. You don't go from doing something like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid to The Sting unless you have good chemistry and a really, really good script. And I think you can do that with this. My number one choice is a project that Bryan Singer has been trying to get off for years. Okay. I remember when he first started talking about this publicly, I was one of those people that just thought, okay, yeah, whatever, you know. But thinking about it over time, there is a logic to it. And I think you could do this. I think this could be done. But you'd have to be willing to go all the way with it as far as adapting the original novel and the sequels. Okay.
Yep.
So my choice would be a new adaptation of the classic book Logan's Run. I think that everything that story represents is still something that you could look at and say, okay, you know, a lot of people who've never seen the first adaptation of it could really get into this, really understand what the story is about. And given the way things are right now, today, I think this story is very, very relevant. But I think you really do need the right people in the lead to be able to portray this. And the story of a civilization that is pretty much, well, that is perfection. You know, you're talking a city in the future where, just think about it, all of your wants and needs are taken care of. You can do anything short of killing someone else or you know, anything that's against the law. But everything else you can do. You can learn as much as you want. The only other thing is you can't leave the city. But other than that, all your wants and needs are taken care of. Okay? The only thing is that in exchange for living in all of this luxury and having everything you could ever want as part of the social contract, you agree to killing yourself when you turn 30. That's it.
I was thinking it was 35. Was it 30?
Yep, it's 30.
Okay.
And again, when I was much younger and I watched that movie, I gotta say it definitely had an effect. You know,
I saw it at the drive-in on a double bill with Star Wars.
Really?
Yep.
Huh. Well, yeah, back then it was perfect. This was a hit film the year before Star Wars came out.
Yep.
In fact, this was considered to be the epitome of what an incredible science fiction film could be.
Then Star Wars showed
this was, yeah, a year later and completely blew everything that was in this movie away.
Yeah.
This film, I mean, there's what everything was before May 1977, and then everything after May of 1977. And this was the film. Okay. This is and here's the other thing. This is a dystopian film told in a utopia.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that makes this kind of unique, And I don't think a lot of people watching science fiction now, meaning younger people, have ever been exposed to that, unless they watch Kurtzman's Right. In which case that's dystopian, utopian trash. But
this is well written. So
yeah, this is really well written, and the book is incredible. What a lot of people didn't know is that there's actually a sequel, and I think what Bryan Singer was originally wanting to do was to get this into the sequel, to be able to make the first movie and then go beyond and into the sequel. I think if you treat it much the same way that Dune was treated, you could go very far with this.
Yeah.
For me, this story breaks down as a relationship movie between two men who both believe in everything about where they are. I mean, they are the ultimate believers in this entire system because they're both peacekeepers for the system. They're known as Sandmen. Okay, and this is all pre even Judge Dredd, but the way these guys are, this is even before Judge Dredd. There was the Sandmen, because you are the judge, jury, and if necessary, executioner of whatever punishment that needs to be meted out for whatever crimes actually do, and there aren't that many that actually do occur in this civilization. When it's time for people to go to carousel, which is the nice way of putting it as far as killing themselves, it's turned into a spectacular event that people can come and witness, and there's a beautiful nature to the entire thing, a celebratory nature, almost being like how we, I think, celebrate something like the Super Bowl or something, you know.
Yeah.
And the story of Logan, after capturing, or in this case, I think killing someone that was trying to run, meaning they didn't show up for carousel, and decided they wanted to live longer. And you are first detained, and if you basically try to leave and or get away, they are authorized to kill you. Logan, during his briefing, talking about his case, is given the assignment of infiltrating this group of people that are trying to leave and who want to live beyond carousel. And unlike his best friend, Francis, Logan has, I think, a year left before it's time for him to go to carousel. So his superiors, everybody has a crystal embedded in their palm that help you to know when it's time for you to go to carousel. So they remove or shorten his window from a year to just right around the corner. And they want him to infiltrate this group, find out who's in it, who's a part of it, and bring them to justice. But as part of the entire thing, he cannot tell anyone, including his best friend, what he's doing. So his best friend has to believe that he's going to the other side. And he, in doing everything that he's doing, begins to understand and see what others see of him and other Sandmen. And it's a character study is really what it is. As he and Jenny, or I'm sorry, Jessica, try to find Sanctuary, which is this place that you can go to and completely be able to live out your lives and do whatever you want and not have to worry about the Sandmen coming after you. And so I always thought, okay, yeah, this would be great. We could do this. It'd be a nice updating. And here's the part that I felt bad about. As I was saying earlier, it is about chemistry. You need to believe that these two actors who you have playing Logan and Francis, you need to believe that they are the best of friends.
Yeah.
So I decided, in my mind, I thought, what would really make this kind of cool is to find two people that have worked really well together. And when I found them, I found the director that they had worked with. And I thought, you know what, these three people would be perfect for it. So I wanted to get director Wes Ball and repair him with Thomas Brody Sangster and Dylan O'Brien from The Maze Runner, and have the just do or reinterpret Logan's Run, because I could buy their relationship, and they're both consummate actors. Both of them still look young enough to not be 30, even though I think Thomas is right there. But this guy this young man has grown up literally on screen. When you look at the list of parts that he's had in the films he's been in, and the same thing for Dylan O'Brien, but really Thomas his list of credits is amazing. And I would have Thomas as Logan and Dylan O'Brien as Francis.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I think that would be a nice pairing. I think the chemistry's there. That matches what's in the book.
Yeah. And it's not so much that all the other parts don't mean anything, but this relationship has to be there. You can't do it without that. If you cast two people in those parts and you do not believe that these guys are tight, that they are brothers, that they share everything, then the rest of the plot doesn't mean anything. You've got to believe this. So there you go.
Excellent choice. I like it. And I liked Logan's Run back in the day, but I think it would do to have a better adaptation.
Especially if you're going to go into the next book.
Yeah.
The next book I think is called Logan's World. And it is this is a novel that I think was published in 1967. And it's very much of its time, in so much as that you can see a lot of influences of various movements within this story. This is basically the ultimate sci-fi dream of a lot of the hippie movements and other movements of that time period. But there are other things thrown into this plot. It isn't just that. This is something that really talks about our civilization, or at least the way it was back then, about law and order and justice and right and wrong, and something that unfortunately, we're still dealing with, which is ageism. It's something that was a plot point in Star Trek twice. Two really good episodes of Star Trek were dedicated to this. Different aspects, I should say. But I just think it's just a classic story, and it is something that I think it's about time was revisited and updated for a lot of young people today, because I think the message or messages of this film are relevant, especially to younger people. Really, more importantly, that just because you're young and you feel invincible doesn't mean that everything that you do in that time is going to be something for which you're going to be able to solve everything. You know, there is something to be said for growing older. You know, it's really about the quality of life and what you bring to it. I mean, again, if this were something real in our society, okay, if we were actually doing this, one thing is I wouldn't be alive right now. But on top of that,
neither.
Think about what you. I mean, if you were really honest with yourself, and I'm talking to everybody, if you were truly honest with yourself, do you think you would have? I mean, everything that you've learned, do you think you would have been able to utilize, learn, and use it and get it all done by the time you were 30? Were you ready for the kinds of responsibilities that you've had just in the last 5 years of your life by the time you were 30?
Oh, no. I don't think I started adulting until I was 30.
So, you know, it's something to think about, because unfortunately you got a lot of young people today thinking that they can get it all. And it's just like that's not really what life is about, you know.
Well, real quick, I'd like to say hello to Shanatsky and Christian Delorme, who have popped in. So, welcome, gentlemen.
Yeah, and Shanatsky, of course, has very on point comment.
Oh, yeah.
Man, Shanatsky is a constant source of awe for me because he comes up with look, just look at this. Man, you have
that would have been a good. That's what we should have seen in the sequels.
In
we
the
should have seen
Disney sequels.
Yeah,
in the Disney sequels. Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. You know, I can't speak too much about the Disney sequels without getting mad.
Yeah, so we'll skip that. So,
but again, I don't mean to take up all the time. I'm just saying that this has kind of been on my mind off and on for a few years. I was surprised by how deep into it I got when I was trying to put a lot of this together. And I think what you need is a really, really good script. I think you need someone who could really give you kind of like that balance between the relentless pursuit, but also a strong, strong message and really good acting. You know, moments in there where you reveal, you know, where the actors can truly express themselves. And I had to think of someone who could do that. And I think in the end, I came up with one name, only one name, and that's Edgar Wright.
Yep, I could see him. Yeah, that would be a good choice.
Edgar Wright could direct it, and he could write it. After Baby Driver, he could definitely do it.
Yep, definitely.
So, again, I know there are going to be people that are going to disagree with me greatly. I'm just saying, I picked what I picked. you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to break the bank with this.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that everything I pitched today, you could get away with making between 85 to 125 million dollars.
Yeah.
Now, to Arkham Asylum, that's really going to depend on your cast. That's
yeah,
gonna be
most of your
expensive
cost is going to be in the cast.
Yeah, but for the other two that I have, those will be cheaper in comparison to making a Batman movie. So
yeah,
just throwing it out there. So what do you guys think?
I like it. And unfortunately, I need to leave here shortly. I've got a doctor's appointment, so let me throw mine out there real quick.
Okay.
Mine is a series of books called The Honorverse. They're based on a character called Honor Harrington.
Oh, no way, dude! Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Well, you know how much I love Honor Harrington.
I know.
If you want a strong female character, you've got one right here. And I think the only reason why we haven't seen Honor Harrington on the big screen or even the small screen is because the author is politically conservative.
Yeah.
And I think it's more of a blackballing situation than that. But now 20 years ago, we had the perfect actress to play Honor Harrington. And that was Angelina Jolie. But she is too old at this point. I know that's
well, depending on how good of an actress her daughter is. Because
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, she's the spitting image of her mom. You know, and if you got the both of them to be in this, you might be able to pull that off.
You could get yeah, if you did that, if her daughter played Honor and then she could play Honor's mom.
Oh, I was just gonna say try to get them both to play the same part. Honor up to a certain age and then have Angelina take over. And vice versa.
Yeah. Well, I was envisioning a series of movies that take place over the next 20 years.
Oh, well, then forget what I just said then. And I will stop interrupting you.
So, for the first book, which is called On Basilisk Station, basically, Honor Harrington made a superior look bad, look like a complete fool. So she gets this hardship duty at on Basilisk Station, which is on the frontier close to their enemies, the Republic of Haven, which isn't a republic at all. It's actually a socialist Marxist place. But so she's she goes through a series of stuff, and she basically has to. She's in a light cruiser, and she basically has to stop an entire war from happening between Haven and the Manticorian Empire. Well, it's not an empire; it's the kingdom, Manticore. But yeah, so yeah, that's the first book, and there's, a ton of books. Just the main series, and then there's spin-offs with her best friend, Michelle Hinkie, who's a black woman. So we've got and she's another strong character. There's the Crown of Slaves, which pits a character from Manticore and a character from Haven working together to stop genetic slavery.
Well,
because they in this whole entire universe, there's a basically a corporation that runs genetic slavery, where they basically build people to be, we got, clones or built people for various positions. Like you have, like the, like your workers, and you have your pleasure slaves and so on and so forth. So, but there's a whole thing there with about freedom fighters and stuff like that you could do. So, but yeah, as far as playing Honor Harrington, my first choice, you're going to think this is a little weird, but I would pick Zendaya. She's young enough that she's right age for Honor at the first book. And I think she could play the character.
I think you're right. Okay.
Now, director, before I take off, for a director, there's only one guy I could think of that would do justice to this kind of movie. And that happens to be Christopher Nolan.
Really?
Yep. Because Christopher Nolan has the blockbuster experience, because this is going to be a blockbuster, because there's space battles, but he can also handle the character moments and the dynamics and stuff with the political stuff. So I think he would be the best choice. Awful quiet.
Oh,
well, no. I mean, I was just gonna say you convinced.
No.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know the IP, but Nolan certainly is one of my favorite directors. So I'm ready. Whoops.
No, we lost Keith. Well, let me thank Christian Delorme for this wonderful super chat. Thank you for the coffee. Says, let me buy you a coffee. It's always a great show. And again, while disabled off work for 4.5 months, you guys filled in many lonely hours. Cheers. Well, we're glad to have been of entertainment, Christian. And we thank you for being on our
corner
in our audience. And you've been an excellent audience, excellent chat member. And we love seeing you around.
Yep. And you know what? Since wow, that's 10. That's 10. Wow, $10.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I got something for you, buddy.
That's
just for you.
Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.
I'll buy that for $1.
That's the $10 in maple syrup money. And with that, thank you guys. You guys have been a great chat, but I need to run. I've got a doctor's appointment here shortly, so I need to get to the doctor's office. So I will see you guys again tomorrow for Fantastic Friday and TGIF. So you guys all have a good day.
You too, my friend.
See you later, John.
All right.
See ya.
Have a good one.
And we have this. Christian Delorme has been a member for 8 months, and our friend Monkey Jeepus has been one for 12 months. So thank you, Monkey. Thank you, Christian, again. And we really hope you're enjoying your time with us. Oh, and he's been thankful to you, Keith. He really liked the videos.
Oh, well, hey, it's the least I could do. I mean, come on. Look, first of all, we wouldn't really be doing a lot of what we're doing without all of you guys. And again, I hope you liked today's show. I hope we've inspired you guys to think about a lot of what we're putting together, but also, think about, even if you disagreed with us, I mean, who you would cast in a lot of this stuff. And remember, we still have one more to go. Martin, I did not forget you. So you still got one more.
One more.
If you don't want to do it, you don't have to.
No. Well, I have two more choices, but I'm going with this will be my number one because it's my second favorite book ever. It's a little could be considered a little controversial for today's standards in entertainment, but it's a I would like a limited series based on a book from Robert Heinlein's. No, it's not Starship Trooper. It's Job, a comedy of justice.
Woo-hoo.
I really I encourage people to watch it. It's a very fun book mm, based on mm, religious themes and faith and both faith and faith uh, and how could I put it? A chain of very unlikely events. It's a very entertaining book. I would love to see it on the screen.
Okay. Okay. Huh. I never would have thought that one. I mean,
Yeah.
now let me. I may have missed this before, but you've read the books, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. First and foremost, overall, good choice. Second, wow. I mean, now, who would you cast? What's your cast?
Ah, I have no idea because I read the book years ago, and all
Yeah.
my expectation for it is with actors that are not in the right age right now. But for me, they are in my mind. They are the characters. So I have it's an exercise that I haven't done, and I should do it again. Try to put new faces on my mental image of how do they look. But no, I have at the moment no. I can tell at the moment I read the book, I thought of the female part will be Jenna Elfman. I don't know why I always saw her in that role.
Well, she's a really good actress.
And the nature of the characters resembles very much the how could what imagine a less flimsy Dharma,
Okay.
and she would be at that moment in time she would have been perfect for that role. Now you need a director that can handle both comedy and drama and can intertwine very well those two genres because
Okay.
of course the as the title says it's the book is a comedy but has some serious moments, some
Hmm.
contemplative moments, and that's all I have to say about that. Um, And our runner-up or an honorable mention would be another book, another sci-fi book from Wilson Tucker, The Time Masters. It's a story that intertwines with the Gilgamesh myth.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
it's a very, very good book. If you can, please read it. I'm sure our audience will enjoy it.
And what's the actual name of the book? Is the name?
Oh, the Time Masters.
Okay. Okay.
It doesn't
definitely
have
have to.
anything. It doesn't have anything to do with time travel.
Okay.
But
Wow. Okay.
yeah, those are
Good
my
one, Martin.
humble picks. I had another other ones, but they were kind of derivative. For example, um, Sequest, because I'm a big fan of submarine stories. But Sequest is very derivative of Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, so I went with that. Oh, Expendables 3 or 4, Penny? I think you mean to say the fourth because the third one got out some years ago. So, Keith,
Yeah.
do you have any honorable mentions?
Not really. I mean, I concentrated on providing the three that I came up with because I mean, three, it took a lot to just come up with who I was going to cast and who I was going to have direct.
Yes.
You know, especially, and again, I could not come up with a better name for the whole cyborg thing. You know, and as I explained at the beginning, calling it the $6 million man that was more about the television series. The cyborg novel and novels, they have their own flavor that they're trying to do, and I wanted to do more in the spirit of that. So, you know, but if you're going to put a gun to my head and say, hey, you gotta come up with another one, uh, the Eternity Brigade. That's what I would do, and it's a science fiction novel that once you've read it, it reads like a really, really well done Twilight Zone episode, mixed with mixed with mixed with a really, really, really cool sci-fi movie premise. You know, uh, it's a book that I read that, like you, really affected me, uh, and I just love the story. Uh, it's about a group of soldiers who sign up for a special project where they're definitely going to get paid more money, and they can do all these amazing things. Uh, uh, so it's basically it's a program that started out experimenting with putting soldiers on ice rather than pay for the expense of having to continuously uh, feed and house soldiers. They find a way of basically freezing soldiers and then just taking them out whenever there's a situation where you need to have soldiers to fight and whatever, right? And over time, and it's told from the point of view of the soldiers. So you start out with the soldiers, thinking that this is going to be something where they're going to definitely make a lot of money and be able to use that to go on vacation, see their families, and it becomes an untenable position over time, because from their point of view, you get into these the boxes, and every time you come out, more time has passed, and it starts to have an effect on them mentally, because every time they come out, there's definitely a really good reason for it. You're in the middle of a situation where you're going to have to fight and kill people, and eventually you start to realize that your family's gone after many years of doing it. You're getting out basically the same age, and your family's long since gone. And so you begin to just see the soldiers next to you as your family. They're the only pieces of that quote unquote past life that you have. And here I am just giving you the whole book. Anyway, but yeah, the Eternity Brigade, for this, I would, I'm coming up with this off the top of my head. I don't know who I would cast, but I would try to keep it kind of young, very military. I would, I would have, a really good cast that has really good chemistry. And I think the only film that you could do that with would be someone whom has already gotten that kind of chemistry out there, which would be Doug Liman. I would love Doug Liman to make this, because this could be seen as a flip side story to Edge of Tomorrow. Easily become a flip side story to Edge of Tomorrow.
As you were talking about the relationship of the soldiers, that they see each other as a family, I was thinking precisely about the squad from Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Granted, most of them died, but then didn't die.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
yes,
because without spoiling the film, yeah, ultimately,
Yeah, the way they talk and conduct with each other, that's the sentiment that is carried on. That they were like more like a
the way
family.
that, yeah, that's exactly it. The only downside is, Bill Paxton's no longer with us to be able to make more movies with, because Bill Paxton was awesome. But yeah, it's The Eternity Brigade by Stephen Golden. One of my all-time favorite books. And again, that's a nice afternoon read, but you get to the end of that one, and if you want something if you're someone out there, if you're a studio that wants something that big on par with Edge of Tomorrow, this is your story. You just need to find somebody to lead that cast who can be believable in that lead role. Because you can't get away with casting someone like this. Definitely could not be a Tom Cruise vehicle. He's a little up there. So
yeah.
I mean, if they were to announce tomorrow that he was making this, I wouldn't try to stop him. But you got to be reasonable. So anyway, there you go. That's it.
Man, that last one left me very much intrigued. I'm going to find that book today. The Eternity Brigade. Yeah.
That gets kind of expensive,
Well, let's see. Let's see. I said I would find it, not buy it. Let me find it first. Buy it later. So we have reached the end of the show.
Yeah.
So if you want to extend your thanks to our people in the chat, we have a nice list compiled just for you. Oh, and the Peter Bergman fan site has just arrived. Oh, so, uh, well, we- I will thanks you, our lovely audience. We had today with us Anima Confusa, Sucks Bulletins, Debot Martin, Orville Nation, Joe's Atmosphere, Scribe Light, Read by Nature, Your Muslim Uncle, Our Muslim Uncle, Brandon, the Enemy Guy, Small Time Republic, The Memes of Destruction, Adaga Outlaw, Sags, Shenatsky, Christian Delorme, and the Peter Bergman fansite. And my sincere apologies if I butchered your names. Keith? Keith, are you here?
Well, look, thanks everyone for showing up to today's show. I apologize for all my technical glitches. I'm just going to have to find a way of fixing this before the next show that we do tomorrow. But on behalf of myself and John and the amazing Martin, this has been Morning Coffee with Keith. Try to have a better day.
See you later.